Ramon was a young man, strong and tall. He woke up early every day, even before the sun began to rise. His small, cozy home was tucked on the edge of the village, where the trees and flowers grew. He had a simple life, but it was one that he loved. Ramon's work was as a merchant, a seller of handmade goods. He worked hard, making baskets, cloth, and small tools. These he would sell in the village market, a place where people came to buy and trade goods. He wasn't rich, but he didn't mind. He had a good heart, and he believed that doing honest work was the key to a happy life. Every morning, he would pack his cart with the things he made and head to the market. The people in the village knew him well. They trusted him because he never cheated anyone. He always gave fair prices, even if it meant he didn't make a lot of money. To Ramon, honesty was more important than gold. At the market, people gathered around his stall. His cloths were neatly folded, and his baskets were stacked in perfect rows. His goods were simple, but they were made with love and care. Customers would come and go, buying what they needed. Ramon would always greet each person with a warm smile, asking them how their day was. He knew everyone in the village by name. He helped them without expecting anything in return. If someone was in need, he would offer a basket or some cloth for free. His kindness had earned him a special place in the hearts of the villagers. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Ramon worked hard, serving his customers. Even though the market was busy, he didn't rush. He took his time, talking to each person and ensuring they were happy with their purchases. This was the life Ramon wanted. It was simple, peaceful, and filled with good people. He had a dream, though, deep in his heart. He dreamed of a better life, a life where his hard work would bring him a small house with a garden and a family of his own. But for now, he was content. He was proud of the work he did and the way he treated others. Every day, he felt he was making the world a little bit better, even if it was in small ways. In a small farmhouse on the edge of the village lived two sisters, Selena and Elena. Selena was the younger of the two, and she was known for her beauty. She had long, shiny hair, and her eyes sparkled like the stars. But Selena was more than just a pretty face. She had big dreams. While Elena, her older sister, was happy with their simple life, Selena was always thinking about ways to improve it. Elena was content on their little farm, working the land with their father. She enjoyed the quiet life, tending to the animals and the crops. She believed that hard work and honesty were the keys to happiness. But Selena had different ideas. She dreamt of something more. She dreamed of marrying a rich man who would give her everything she ever wanted. She thought that wealth was the key to happiness. She imagined herself living in a big, beautiful house, wearing lovely dresses, and never having to work again. One afternoon, as the sun set behind the hills, Selena sat on the porch of their farmhouse, staring at the sky. Elena sat beside her, sewing a piece of cloth. "Do you ever think about what it would be like to have everything we want?" Selena asked, her voice soft but full of longing. Elena looked at her younger sister, her face calm. "I do think about it sometimes," she said gently. "But I've learned that true happiness doesn't come from wealth. It comes from living with kindness and honesty." Selena sighed. "But I want more than that. I want a beautiful life. I want to be admired and loved. I want a life of luxury." Elena placed her hand on her sister's arm. "There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things, Selena. But don't forget that true happiness comes from love and hard work, not riches. Be patient, and you'll see. The good things will come." But Selena wasn't so sure. She wanted things now. She wanted to feel the excitement of luxury and the adoration of others. And she believed the only way to get that was through marrying someone rich. She had heard about a young merchant in the village who was known for his honesty and hard work. His name was Ramon. It was a warm spring morning when Selena and Elena went to the market in the village. The sun shone brightly, and the air smelled fresh and clean. The market was busy, full of people trading goods and chatting with each other. Selena's eyes were drawn to the merchant stalls, especially to the one where Ramon stood. She had seen him before, but today there was something about him that caught her attention. He was talking to a customer with a smile, his voice gentle and kind. His hands were strong, but his eyes were warm. There was something special about him. As they walked through the market, Selena's heart began to beat faster. She couldn't help but feel drawn to him. She turned to Elena, who was looking at some fabric. "I'll be right back," Selena said, her voice soft but determined. Elena didn't notice as Selena walked away, heading straight for Ramon's stall. She watched him from a distance for a moment, taking in his calm, hard-working nature. He was not a man of wealth, but there was something about him that made her feel excited. Selena stepped forward and smiled at him. "Hello," she said sweetly. Ramon looked up and smiled in return. "Good day, miss. How may I help you?" "I was just looking at your goods," Selena said, pretending to examine a basket. "They're very nice." "Thank you," Ramon replied. "I make them myself. Everything here is handmade with care. Selena nodded, impressed by his skill. She was also curious about him. She asked more questions, pretending to be interested in his work. But deep down, she was hoping that he would notice her beauty and perhaps offer her a life of luxury. She had a feeling that he could be the key to the life she wanted. Days passed, and Selena found herself going to the market more often. She couldn't help but return to Ramon's stall. She pretended to be interested in his goods, but her true intention was always to talk to him, to be near him. Each time she visited, she became more drawn to his calm, kind nature. She admired how he never rushed, how he treated everyone with the same respect, no matter their status. One afternoon, as the sun began to dip low in the sky, Selena decided to speak to him more directly. She walked to his stall with a sense of purpose. She had thought about this moment for days, planning her words carefully. "Good day, Ramon," she said with a smile, her voice smooth and inviting. Ramon looked up from his work, his usual warm smile appearing. "Hello, Selena. It's good to see you again. How are you today?" "I'm well, thank you," she replied, glancing at the baskets on his table. "I've been thinking about the things you make. They're so beautiful and useful. I could really use a few more things for my home." "Oh?" Ramon said, intrigued. "What would you like?" "Well," Selena began, her eyes sparkling with the thought of what she was about to offer him. "I've been meaning to buy some cloth and a few of your baskets for a while now, but I was also wondering, perhaps you would accept a gift in exchange for your hard work, a token of my appreciation." Ramon frowned slightly, not sure what she meant. "A gift?" he asked. "You don't need to give me anything, Selena. I'm happy to help." Selena smiled even more brightly, taking a small box from her bag. She opened it to reveal a stunning necklace, a beautiful piece with shining beads and delicate silver chain. "This is for you," she said, holding the box out. "It's a gift for your kindness and for all the beautiful things you make. I want you to have it, Ramon." Ramon looked at the necklace, his eyes softening. He could tell it was expensive, the kind of thing a woman might wear to a grand celebration or a special occasion. But he wasn't one for fine things, not like that. He valued hard work, honesty, and simplicity above all else. Still, he didn't want to seem rude. "That's very kind of you, Selena," he said, his voice gentle. "But I don't need anything in return for my work. Helping you is enough for me." Selena's smile faded for a moment, but she quickly recovered. "Please," she insisted, her voice becoming softer, more persuasive. "It's just a small token. I want you to have it. We both know that life can be difficult sometimes. Maybe this will show you how much I appreciate you." Ramon hesitated, but he could see the sincerity in her eyes. "I'll accept it then," he said finally, taking the box with a polite nod. "But I want you to know that I don't expect anything from you in return." Selena's smile returned, brighter than before. "Thank you, Ramon. I knew you'd understand." As Ramon placed the necklace carefully in his pocket, Selena turned to leave. But before she walked away, she glanced over her shoulder and said softly, "I do hope you'll think about my offer. Maybe one day we can talk more about it." Ramon watched her go, a feeling of unease in his chest. He didn't know what Selena was truly after, but he had a feeling that she wasn't just interested in his work. Still, he didn't judge her. He believed that everyone had their own dreams, even if they didn't always align with his own values. The next few days were filled with a strange feeling for Ramon. Selena's words kept echoing in his mind. He couldn't deny that there was something about her that intrigued him. Her beauty, her charm, her intelligence, it all drew him in. But something didn't sit right with him. He didn't want to be part of a life built on wealth and material things. He wanted something simpler. He wanted love, built on trust and hard work, not wealth and possessions. One afternoon, as Ramon was finishing up his work at the market, Selena arrived again. She looked radiant, as always, with her long hair flowing down her back and her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Ramon, I'm so glad I found you," she said, her voice sweet. "I've been thinking a lot about what you said the other day." Ramon smiled politely, though he could tell she was about to make another offer. "I'm happy to help in any way I can, Selena. What's on your mind?" "Well," she said, her voice lowering, "I've been talking to some friends, and they told me that we could do much better in the city. You and I, Ramon. You're such a skilled craftsman, and with my beauty and charm, we could open a store. We'd be rich. We could live in a big house, wear the finest clothes, and never have to worry about money again." Ramon's heart sank. He could see where this was leading. Selena wasn't asking him for love or friendship. She was asking him to help her escape a life of simple work for a life of luxury. "I don't think I want that kind of life, Selena," Ramon said quietly, shaking his head. "I'm happy with the life I have. The market, the people here, it's all I need. I don't need riches." Selena's expression faltered for a moment, but she quickly recovered. She reached out, gently touching his arm. "But Ramon," she said, her voice soft but persuasive, "don't you see? We could have everything we ever wanted. Together, we could build something beautiful. You and I would make the perfect team. We could be unstoppable." Ramon gently pulled away from her touch, his eyes kind but firm. "I understand what you're saying, Selena," But my happiness isn't in things. It's in living a good life and helping others. I'm afraid I can't be a part of your dreams." Selena stared at him for a long moment, her face hardening. "I see," she said quietly, then turned and walked away without another word. Ramon watched her leave, feeling a twinge of sadness. He had hoped that she would see that a life of true happiness came from honesty and hard work, not wealth. But he couldn't change her dreams, only his own. And he would continue to live by the values that meant the most to him. Now, from this point, the story will be continued in the next part.